Hello there, people of the universe. My name is MichSciFi, and welcome back to an episode of Davis Cosplay. Now, it's been, I think, 6 months, maybe more, since the last one, and I am really sorry about that. Things changed with my setup. I focused on other content, and of course, with the setup changes, the blue sheet went, so it meant with the room backdrop, it meant filming cosplay videos was a bit trickier because the focus on this camera doesn't want to play ball like recently, so I'm hoping it's okay now. I obviously can't see the viewfinder because it's there and I'm here, but we're going to work with it best we can. So in today's episode, we're going to be looking at a very rare breed of item, which is my 2 screen-accurate Tennant ties. Now, both of them are by the same brand, which is St. George by Duffer. So in retrospect, they are actually both the most common out of all the Tennant's ties, but nevertheless, let's get into this first one. So for those who are not familiar, this first one is the Utopia tie, paired beautifully with the screen-accurate H&M Slate Blue Iron Easy shirt, which is sadly discontinued, so I can't give you the link. I did when it first came out in the old video, but nevertheless, I mean, there is one, this is a separate note, there is one on their site which I think is the same colour, but the buttons are black, so you would need to change it, but even then, I think it is the same shade of blue, so it does still work. But anyway, this is the one he wore in Utopia, The Sound of Drums, and Last of the Time Lords, which for those who are forgetting, I doubt you have. That is the absolutely amazing Series 3 finale, which featured the return of the Master, and ever more so the return of Captain Jack Harkness. But that's not what you're here for, the tie. For those who aren't familiar, this is a base brown with, a base chocolatey brown, shall I say, with a floral pattern what has a mix of pink and blue hues, so it's a very unique tie. And then on the back you can obviously see the beautiful St. George by Duffer logo, and then all the way down to the lining which says the same again, St. George by Duffer, which I will say, having one of these and being able to see the same with that one, looking at the actual screen accurate label and lining, it's very different to say one where most of my ties say the same, which is Magnolia Clothiers, which of course all of Magnolia's ties are beautiful. But nevertheless, it's never bad to have an original. Now, I sadly don't own my Magnolia Utopia tie anymore. I sold it about a year or so ago. But in the original video, the Utopia collection, or the one before that, sorry, where I review this tie, I do a semi-comparison. But since this video is more professional, I'll try and repeat what I said in that one, and I might use some footage from that video. The chocolate brown is more or less identical from a distance. When you're up close and personal, this one, even though it's dark brown as well, the original is ever so slightly lighter, maybe 2 or 3 shades. It's not that much of a problem. The Magnolia one is still beautiful, and with the pattern, it does pretty much nail it. There are some instances where the Magnolia one, the pink and blue floral patterns show up better, but that could be lighting, positioning, the silk that Magnolia's used. It's really hard to tell, but when I put them side by side, they do line up beautifully, and it's an amazing replica. So if you can't find one of these, I recommend the Magnolia. Although, with this one in mind, with what I was saying before, this second to the 50th, because people were able to get that when it was in stock, this obviously was back in 2006 roughly, because obviously the episode aired the following year, so I would imagine, I'm sure David Tennant's video diary can confirm that, but I think it was, no, it might have been January 2007, maybe, I don't know. Look at his video diary for Series 3. No, I am wrong, I do apologise, I got there in the end. This was used in February 14, 2006, because I remember in David's video diary from Series 3, when they're filming in the quarry on Mount Casario, he mentions this is where the Doctor Who team's going to be spending Valentine's Day. So 2005, whatever, it's not available anymore sadly, but even then, this is without a doubt, out of all the rare ones, as in the ones that aren't available in shops, well, that isn't anymore, but out of those ones, this is the most common, because the story behind this, I found it on eBay. I bid £41 or £40 because I didn't want to go higher than the Magnolia, but I thought I'll go a tiny bit if I have to because it is an original. But at the same time, these retailed for about, I think, 22 quid, which is different from the 14 of that one. But I didn't want to go too high, but original, not available anymore, slightly rare. I'll push the boundary if I have to. But I sadly lost out. Someone bidded £2 more than me, and it did bugger me. I think as I bid an extra £1, the other person went an extra after mine, so 42 beat my 41, which was absolutely awful. But then a few days later, it might have been the following day after, I don't remember, at college, I got during break or lunch, whatever, I got an email from eBay, and the guy said, yo, You got second place. I have got another one. I'll be happy to sell it to you for your last bid of 41. And I said yes immediately. And I don't think there was any charge for postage. So yeah, and I was very happy. And even though it isn't my favourite Tennant tie or favourite Tennant look, that is the Armani with the pale blue and then the tooth and claws, my favourite look. It's a new favourite, don't ask. But even then, I'm still very happy to own this because this, with this shirt, is my most screen accurate variant. So yeah, as you can see how it looks with the shirt is beautiful. The pattern is beautiful. And then again, with the jacket for good measure, so you can see how it looks. And even though the gorge on this version of Magnolia's suit isn't as accurate as the newer one, it does still look absolutely amazing. And because I'm able to get my knots fairly small, you can see plenty of the tie. And then again with the coat on, because all together look absolutely amazing. And despite the faults of the suit or even the coat or anything like that, or even my knotting or whatever, all of it together does look absolutely beautiful and does match how David looked in that amazing finale, even more so. So with all that in mind, going back to what I said before about the common thing, even though it is still rare, I know about, I mean, I've got one, I know, 1, 2, I think I know about maybe 10, just roughly, I'd say 10 at the most, including me, 9 other people who own it. So yeah, 10 maximum. Yeah, I know 9 people, roughly, maybe more, who own it. So even though it's not as common as, say, finding some combos on eBay, but if you look, chances are within a month or two, you're going to find one. But even if you can't, Magnolia's replica is absolutely beautiful, and I do recommend it. But even so, try your best, and if anyone out there does find one, let me know. Send me pictures of you wearing it, because it is gorgeous. And I would love to meet John Barrowman wearing this variant, although when I meet him in July at LFCC, I was going to be wearing Captain Jack, which is a future installment of this series, but we'll see. Anyway, moving on to the 50th tie. Boom! Little change. Now we are wearing the Day of the Doctor 50th anniversary special look. Now, even though I absolutely adore the 50th anniversary, I do have to admit, out of the two, this is my least favourite screen accurate tie to own. Only because, and I mean no offence to anybody, this has been done to death at conventions because it's the easiest one to find, which, good, I'm glad everyone could get one. But at the same time, out of all the Tennant's looks, trust me, I've looked at them all, this one gets done so much that it kind of kills it in a way, which, I mean, no disrespect to anyone who loves doing this, do what you want, but for me, I don't do this one as often as I maybe want to because, well, besides that, another reason is I don't like doing the hair, and I always like doing the sticky uppy season 4. Series 4, not season, I'm not American. But even all that aside, me complaining, it is still a beautiful tie, and I know from the wide shot it looks black, but trust me, as you'll see in the close-ups, it is a nice deep brown with blue and brown patterns again, floral. Not too dissimilar from the Utopia tie. I'm sure I'll do some shots comparing them side by side. And this tie is absolutely beautiful. And then on the other side, you've got the same Sergio by Duffer logo. And then going down to the blue paisley pattern, which is on both the inner bits, and then 100% polyester, which that's another thing with this tie. It does feel different to all the Magnolia silk ones, and then I think it even feels slightly different to to the Utopia one, because that's 100% silk. So yeah, there you go. We've got the silk of the Magnolia ties, the silk of the Duffer Utopia, and then the polyester of this one. So it does feel different, but it's still absolutely beautiful. Gorgeous to wear with this shirt. Most if you can get the Magnolia one with the polka dots on the inside, looks gorgeous. But regardless of your shirt, it looks even better when you pair it with a suit. And the coat wasn't worn as much in that 50th special, but when he wore it, it looked cool and it looks beautiful with me when I work with the coat or without, yada yada yada. And then as well, you guys know I've got an adipose detector, which just sets the whole thing off completely. And if I ever do the look again, I won't wear the coat. I'll just have the suit, the hair, and the thing, and run around being like, ah, come on, I know you're there. All that lovely stuff. Now, the bit what most people probably expected me to talk about with this tie. The whole debate about the skinny and the wide version. Now, the wide version is the one I've got. It's got the paisley pattern. And, well, before I go on to that, there's two versions of the wide. One which is exactly like this, and then one which is exactly like this. But this strap here is paisley blue, like the lining. But it's the same width, which I think is 8 centimeters at its widest point. Okay? Keep that in mind. Blue label or not. This is the same dimensions as that other one, right? Which is believed to be the screen accurate one. But there is also a skinny one, which is a centimeter shorter at its widest point, so 7. Now, from my knowledge and understanding, I believe the wide one is screen accurate, because even when you compare this to another screen accurate Tennant tie, or even the Magnoli ones, it's still skinnier. Like, the Utopia tie is skinny in itself, like skinnier than most ties. But then when you compare this one to another Duffer tie and then to Magnoli replicas, it is still a lot skinnier. But when I own the skinny one as well, because I got that one first and I got this one, when I compared that skinny one to other Tennant ties, Magnoli, and then eventually this one, because I got this one after, it just looks too thin, whatever. It's like me, it's too skinny. But just like me and how my friends see me, and that's how you should see this tie, it doesn't really matter. You can use whichever one you want, because my friend Paul, he has the skinny one, my friend Aiden has a wide one. It doesn't really matter. I mean, if you're me, it matters, but for most people, and for me as well, it shouldn't matter. It's still beautiful. The pattern is exactly the same. It might be off slightly because, like, oh, there's like this bit of the flower on the end might be not there, so it might be a bit thinner in the knot. But either way, it's still beautiful. And at the end of the day, it's still a Duffer tie. And for all we know, David could have used both. So you can just say that. And to be fair, there's no way in the episode someone can distinguish if the original has this pattern or not. So until someone can grab David's, the one we know he used, or at least one of them, because he probably used a dozen of them, until we can get that, turn it around, either works. And that is where I am all out of time for this episode. This is a bit of a different one because I have reviewed these ties in the past, so a lot of the information you probably already knew, but I more wanted to do an episode focusing on 2 screen accurate ties, give some information, give some knowledge on how to find them. Speaking of, with that, for this one, I don't really have any knowledge to give you because I don't know how available they are. So sorry I couldn't be of any help there. I didn't forget, I just don't really have anything to say. But for both of them, just look. You might find them. If you can't, Magnoli, even though it's a lot more than what the retail was, which was 14, so you're bumping up a lot. Same like I did with this one, but at the same time, even though I haven't seen a Magnoli 50th, I have seen a Magnoli Utopia, and I own the majority of his ties, so I can confirm they are really good, and they even match the original, so I have no doubt his 50th is perfect. And for extra measure, Magnoli's has the paisley pattern, so if you've got the skinny one, and you want a wide one equivalent, get that one. Why would you get 2 of the same tie? Honestly, I don't know, but I've done it, and I don't know, but yeah, that's all I've got time for. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope it was helpful, and most of all, I hope it wasn't a brag about my accurate ties, because I just wanted to show them off in an educational sense, in a more professional sense for Davis Cosplay. It's why I re-reviewed them. So yeah, I'm going to leave this episode here. Any questions, any comments, leave them below. Any feedback, anything, any suggestions for things you want to see me review, leave them as well. The next 3 episodes, the next one's going to be my Rings of Akaten look. The one I finished ages ago, sorry. After that, it's going to be my blue suit, and then after that, maybe my Captain Jack cosplay. I don't know, that's not even finished yet, so something might come before that. But either way, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please leave a like and a comment, and of course, share with your friends, as it really does help the channel. Subscribe if you're new, and as always, I'll see you guys back here next time. Bye.